God, it's cold. All right. Hopefully we get some good action today. None of this chop BS sideways crap. All right. First things first. Let's go through the different time frames. Let's see what's going on. Hourly chart. Holding that 200 on the hourly chart. We got a pivot point right under that 200. Also holding this imbalance right there. To the downside also. Having trouble kind of inversing that imbalance. So sellers trying to come in here. We got lows. We got lows down there, but we'll see. If it can't hold this 200, it starts to look pretty bad for the bulls. In terms of 15-minute time frame, we are just chopping sideways pretty much. Ever since market open, we've been just kind of chopping. Hopefully that's not an indicator of what's going to happen in the morning today. It's possible. It is possible, but we've been chopping ever since about like, what, 3 in the morning? We started to kind of chop around. But yeah, we're still holding that 200, so we're still in bullish territory. As long as we hold that 200. In terms of the 5-minute, we got 1 minute left till this 5-minute candle closes, so go ahead and mark out that range for that 5-minute opening range. I could pretty much mark out the high. I mean, if it ends up breaking it, I'll readjust, but that high and low is pretty much set. We got a minute left unless something else crazy happens, and I'll readjust it, but all right. And then there's the low of that 5-minute candle. Just to keep an eye out on what's going on. All right, drop down to 1 minute chart. We are holding this. We broke out of this. We had a lot of resistance right there. We broke out of it, held it as support. Right at open, pulled back, held it as support, pushed back up. Would be nice, to be honest with you. Would be nice if it can come and maybe take out these like 800 level again. That 800 level, which would kind of have to break view up. But if it could, you know, sweep out that 800 level and then show signs of strength back up, would be nice to see. So, while we chop in this range, there's really nothing to do as long as we stay in this range. Once we start kind of breaking out of it, showing signs of momentum, then you can kind of start to look for something. In terms of, do we have any news? I don't think we have news today, because I remember checking for the whole week. I'm pretty sure there was no. Yeah, we have no news today. I mean, we have some kind of housing market index, but that's not anything really to worry about. It's yellow folder, so it's not really high. Yeah, it's not high impact. So, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. We have no news today. I guess we'll see. But all right, trying to push up to the high of that 5-minute range. If we start breaking above that 5-minute range, we did take out pre-market highs. So we have taken out pre-market highs, so that's something to keep in mind in terms of a long position. So we took out pre-market highs and then sellers came in immediately and just took over. I'm really hoping we could get a good set. I can get a good setup today. Kind of end my week on a good note. Dun, 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 dun. I would assume it wants to come for a low. Just my assumption, because we took out pre-market highs already, so you would think, you know. I mean, typically, like, if you look at commonality, like structure-wise, what the NQ likes to do, like we typically, not all the time, but we would open up, right? We would maybe have a little bit of an uptrend in the morning, and then closer to about 9:45, we start to get that pullback. We start to get a pullback. We probably starts pulling back, maybe starts taking out some lows, and then closer to 10 o'clock, we start getting the reversal back up. And then a lot of times at 10:30, after we've pushed up so long for 30 minutes, 10:30, we get another reversal back down. Doesn't happen, it's not like, you know, textbook where it happens every single day, but happens enough to where, you know, it's, you gotta you kind of have that in the back of your mind that could happen. So is it in a 15-minute? Yeah, it is. It's right now currently in a 15-minute gap imbalance. Let me pull it up real quick. Actually, no, sorry. It's not a 15-minute. It was an hourly, actually. I think it was a... I remember seeing it somewhere. Yeah, we got an hourly imbalance right there. A massive imbalance. And it's having trouble breaking it. I mean, if it starts closing above this... If it starts closing above this imbalance, I mean, it'll probably go for those highs up there. We'll see, though. As you can see, it's having trouble doing it. But in terms of, yeah, 15-minute, there's, I don't think there's an imbalance really on the 15-minute. Man, freaking... Yeah, 15 minutes already taken out high. It took out that pre-market high. We could just be chopping around for a little bit till... I would prefer personally for this thing to pull back and form some structure versus breaking out of this structure and kind of, you know, it's now if it could start breaking out of the high with some volume, then I would probably maybe try to look into getting some longs. Maybe I would probably go in lighter size just because it's breaking out of like a high up here instead of a structure down here. So let's see if price can pull back here. We got view op down there at the 824 level is view op. I gotta make 4K on one of my evals before it gets rebuild. Gotta make 4K. Can you give me a full port signal? I can't. I wish I could. I mean, I never know if it's... every time I take a trade, I never know if it's gonna be a winning trade or a losing trade. That's the problem with trading, is you never know. You can have the most perfect setup where everything looks perfect and it's a losing trade. I've had trades where everything was perfect, like seemed like a very high quality setup, and it was a losing trade. And then I've had other trades that were like low quality trades where I'm like, man, I'm gonna size down because I'm not really too confident. I don't like, it's not really like looking good, but I'm still willing to take it on half size. I take it and it's a winning trade. Like, so 4K is a lot. If you were like, that's tough. I'm assuming you're like on a 300K account or like a 150K account or something. Some like big account you're probably on. But I mean, what I had to do, honestly, I've been in the same situation as you. And what I had to do was, like, because I was in a spot. Now, here's the thing. If you're super in profit, there are some instances where it may be worth just getting rebuild. But if you're like not too much in profit and you're willing to risk blowing the account, then what I did before was, when I got really close to that rebuild date, I would just be patient and I would look for, I would look for a good setup, right? Look for something good. And then once I get a good setup, I just went in heavy size. I went in heavy size and then ended up kind of passing. It always worked out for me because I was patient for the good setups. And I did it in advance. Like, I knew that, like, within the next 4 days, I was going to get rebuild. So I had to really, like, crunch time. And I just sized up like crazies. But it depends what position you're in. If you're willing to risk. Because you can blow the account doing that. We're retracing back up to view op. I mean, back down the view op. What's the move today? I mean, I'm still long biased. If we can really get some structure here and yeah, I'm long biased. But that bias can change if we start really displacing below the view op and start trending below it, then my bias will change to short. But as of now, we're still kind of trying to hold this view op area. Give me a second. Hold on. Oh, brother. Brother. All right, we're still at view op. Trying to, well, I mean, for it to take out some significant lows, it's got to get through view op. That's the problem. So it's got to displace below view op. Was that your mom? No. Breakfast is ready. Honey, breakfast. I need somebody to make some breakfast for me. Alright, we just displaced below. Taking out some of these internal lows, but not any major low yet. Again, for it to take out a major low, it's going to have to kind of see if it can form. It has to displace lower. There's a let me see. Let me go on the let's go on the 15-minute thing, right? Yeah, if you go on the 15-minute, you'll see that there's a low down there, right there. This where is it? 801 level, and then right below that there's another low at pretty much 800 level. So if it gets down to there to that 800 level, it'll have taken out, and we're gonna be at that 200 on the 15-minute chart. So we'll see. Well, what time is it? 8:46. All right. What fits are we looking at? Oh, fibs. First, fibs. I don't use fibs. 0.18, 0.0, was it 0.08? No, I don't use fibs. Let's see what happens. Does start to look a little interesting if we can break above this 853 level with some displacement. That's an interesting level here. You're charting? I don't have fibs on my chart. This line up here is the top of the 5-minute range. Line down here is the bottom of that 5-minute range. I got view op right there. That's pretty much all the things I have on my chart. I mean 200. That's the 200. Below that 200 is view op area. View op right now is at 825 level. So like right, where is it? View op is like right there. So it's hovering right. The price currently is hovering right above view op. Man, I need to figure out how to get view op on NinjaTrader. I don't know why NinjaTrader doesn't have view op, one of the most popular indicators. I know people, like, there's a way to add it, like, for a code and use it, but I gotta just figure that out. I don't really worry too much because I have it on my other chart, but for you guys to see, it would be better. It does have it? What is it called? Because I looked for it. It's not called view op. And I looked on YouTube, and other people like do like third-party ones where they add it from different. I guess I don't know. You code it. You get the code, and you add the code into. CE tools. Is that what it's? Do I look under the indicators tab? See, all right, let me look. All right, let me search it. CE. I don't have it. There's nothing called CE tools. Nothing's coming up. All right, it's coming really close for that low. That 800 level. It's right there. They got super close to it. Did they take out at least one of the lows? Because I know there was one, and then there's another one right below it. No, it hasn't. So the first one's at 801.50. The second one's at 95s. 801.50 and 95. All right. All right, we are currently below view op. So God, I hope today's not choppy. I hope today's not like a chop day. Gosh, because it's moving horribly so far. Currently in my chart in NinjaTrader. I don't know, I tried to search it. I couldn't, it wouldn't allow me to. I didn't find anything when I searched it. $837 then $849. Well, yeah. I mean, if we could start getting some structure and breaking back above, I would definitely be interested in a trade here. if we can get something. Right now, we're just downtrending. There's really no structure being formed. Price can kind of push up. We'll see. Gotta be patient for it. Yeah. London lows are down there. Got a couple levels that a price could want to come out. That 800 level or 801.50, and then we also got 9.5. So like 795 level. There's a couple significant lows down there. This is 1 minute time frame currently. All right, let's see. Are we taking out? Very close. All right, we've took out one of the lows. It's all right. The fact that it's pulling back like this is good, because if it forms some structure, it can give you even a better opportunity for a great trade. And we're about to, it looks like we're going for the next one. Very close. We're double bottoming it right now. A little more push lower and it'll take out that low. Can we zoom out? Yeah, I'll zoom out. 15-minute chart. All right, there it is. Just took it out. So if you look on a 15-minute chart, I'll switch to a 15-minute. What's going on right now is right here. We're at a significant level now. We're at the 200. Look what happened previously when we got to that 200. We got bounces off the 200. So now we just took out these two significant levels on a 15-minute. This low right here and this low right here. So we'll see what price does here at this point. If we start trying to form some structure and uptrend to the upside, possibly. We would have to get back above the view op area though for it to be interesting. We're still just downtrending, downtrending, downtrending. We start displacing really, then I'm interested in getting a short opportunity, not a long opportunity. That's just my. We'll see. If buyers really can't, I mean, even this, I'll be interested in, because it's starting to displace. It's not sweeping it. I was initially looking for the sweep. Sweep looks like it's tough. It's really tough. So, let's see. Yeah, it's a little. It's. Yeah, it's looks like it wants to go lower, displacing. Because initially, right, when I was looking for these lows, I was looking for a sweep, and then bulls, buyers start coming in back aggressively. But if buyers can't come in aggressively, and this displacement happening, guess what's going to happen with these massive levels? Instead of a sweep, then those massive levels can turn into resistance when it comes back up. So at this point, now, me personally, I would want to look for a little uptrend back up to the view op area where all these massive levels were, and then look for possibly a short opportunity if it can get there. Because we've displaced below view op pretty significantly at this point. Like, surprisingly, is futures and gold open on weekend? No, it's not. It closes and then futures opens back up at Sunday at 6 o'clock. 6 p.m. is when the futures market opens on the weekend. On Sunday. Damn, dude. Is it really gonna just keep selling off? We gotta get some form of a pop, no? We gotta get a little bit of a pop. Give me something. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I gotta wait for that pop. A lot of selling pressure coming in. God, we just took out pre-market highs and absolutely just tanked to the downside. I'm telling you, those pre-market highs are good levels to look at. You'll see instances where price comes and takes those pre-market highs and then you get a sell-off or a push-up or a pre-market low and then you get a rip all the way back up. Those are very significant levels, pre-market high and pre-market low. That's crazy. Yeah, just sinking. I mean, there's just literally no opportunities for me. There's, yeah, literally nothing. I mean, what are you supposed to do here? You can't. There's literally absolutely no opportunity to get long or short. For me, at least. Maybe somebody got an entry. I don't know. Depends on your model, but I mean, ugh, sucks. I mean, I can't, like, you know, at this point, you have to wait for a push up to go short. You can't, are you really just going to try to short at the very bottom of a move? That's not smart at all. Catching all that dip. Yeah, if you had an entry point, I just had no entry points. I mean, there was no like confirmation that this thing wanted to go short or long. Initially, I was looking for a long, and remember, I said my biases change. My bias could change. I was initially looking for a sweep, and then for price to start really pushing back up above UOP, you know, breaking some structure, I would have been interested in a long, but bias started changing very quickly once we started not sweeping it and displacing below it. Now, my bias changed to a short. I wanted to push up to short this back down, but it never gave that push up, so. Beautiful supply and demand in the 15-minute. Let's see. I mean, at this point, I think we're below that 200, right? We just like, yeah, holy crap. We are way below the 200. So, what a crazy ass candle. Holy. That's a... Yeah, we got a big level coming up here. I think you see it better on an hourly chart. Coming up to this big supply level, yeah, so I mean demand level. Demand, not supply. Big demand level, so we'll see if buyers start to come in here. Or maybe it goes for this low. That also is that low is actually, we're tapping into pre-market lows right now. We've just taken out pre-market lows. So this is an area, yeah, where buyers could start aggressively coming in, but obviously I would not be looking, me personally, I would not be looking for longs here just because I don't long below the view op. That's one of my rules, so. But yeah, that's definitely a level where buyers could start aggressively stepping in. If that's the case, let's push it all the way back up so I can look for a short. But, I mean, you could pretty much mark it. Let me see. pretty much mark this whole area right here. And then the bottom of that box, we can mark it out as the low of that candle. So coming into this pretty big demand area. Probably see some buyers try to step in there. 25,680. Yeah, that's the very bottom of that. Maybe it wants to take out that low first before. Possible. Yeah, I would be skeptical of a long if it hasn't taken out a low. I don't know. I feel like it becomes a little less the probability goes down because you don't know if it wants to go and retrace and take out that low first before making the real move. So here's the buyers trying to step in. Gosh. People call me at the worst times, I swear. It's like yeah, and I look for that too when I'm looking for an entry, or I look for that too of did price take out a low, because if price hasn't taken out a low, then you never know. I mean, price could just push up and you can get the move, but a lot of times price has that, you know, first push up. It's almost like a false push up, and then it comes back down, takes out the low, and then goes. But then I've seen other instances where it does take out the low, starts pushing up, comes back, takes out the low one more time, and then rips. You can see, I mean, we got this push up and then sellers aggressively trying to step back in. I would need, for me to be interested in a possible short opportunity, I would need price to come up to like all the way up here to this like this 800 level. I would be interested in a short at about the 800 level. If we can get that. We're at the 10 o'clock mark also, where there's a, right? Reversals do happen around 10 a.m. This is a very interesting level that it could bounce off of. But we did, keep in mind, we did take out pre-market lows. Pre-market lows did get taken out. So this move happened from pre-market lows getting taken out. Looks like it's starting to change direction, kind of. Can we get the push up? What I'm kind of hoping for, right? The push up, and then once we get to that 1030 mark, get the sell off back down at 1030. Got into buys. Well, good luck. Yeah, I do not like to fade the move, but you do you. We'll see. I mean, there's a possibility that it could push up here. Definitely not a bad level to buy if you were gonna buy anywhere, but it's just one of my rules that I gotten wrecked too many times trying to fade the move, and we'll see. What other people do also is they average in the trades. So they'll get a little bit in, then they'll average in. If it does go a little bit lower and take out the low, then they'll average in some more and kind of do it that way. You gotta really be careful when you're doing that to not average into losing trades. But here, give me a second. I'll be back in a second. You get those instances where it V-shapes out of it, right? Like it'll take out pre-market lows and then V-shape out of it. Those are way better signals than like it very slowly starts to grind back up. When it very slowly starts to grind back up, like it shows you that there's not too many interested buyers stepping in aggressively. Like we're getting these like, you know, it's a push up, then sellers step in, then a push up, then sellers step in, then push up, then sellers step in. It's like not the strongest move up, which is a good sign for shorts. But if you're, you know, shorting now at these levels, it's a tough level. I mean, it could, but I'm waiting for closer to view up area, because then if I wait for the thing, my kind of viewpoint also is if I wait for it to push up a little higher, kind of to these 800 level here, if I wait for this 800 level, not only do I have all these like all this previous support that now turns into resistance, but then I also got the view up, I also got the 200, and that kind of protects me because I can have my stop above these highs up here, right? So if price does get to those highs, it has to get through the view up, the 200, has to break back inside that 5-minute range. So it's just there's so much price has to get through to get to my stop loss, that if it does get to my stop loss, well, it's a, you know, it's a good trade regardless. But you know, there's a chance that it could reject theirs around this area. So I try to put myself in a spot where if price wants to get to my stop loss, it needs to get through multiple levels of resistance, of, you know, multiple levels of sellers stepping in aggressively to get to my stop. And that's kind of how you formulate like a higher probability trade, instead of like, you know, buying at random areas and hoping it goes. Because you want to be able to take a trade and then even if you take a loss, you want to be able to walk away and go, even though I took a loss, I would have taken that trade 10 out of 10 times. If I see the same setup tomorrow, I'm taking the same exact trade. That's what you want. You want to be able to walk away going, that was a good trade to take. Maybe I took a loss, but that was a good trade to take. You want to walk away with that kind of mindset. And that's how you know it was a good trade. When you take a trade and get pissed off, then you're just like, Maybe you took a stupid setup. Maybe, you know. Bear flag? I don't know. I don't really, I mean, yeah, I see on a very, like on a very small up here is a very tiny bear flag, yeah. I can see it. I took it because it rejected the 20 EMA. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know people use the EMAs. Yeah, if you short here, like there's nothing wrong. You're going with the trend, so you're shorting, but you know, you got to make sure not to get greedy, right? Because you're shorting it. You're pretty much shorting at the very bottom of a move. So you could do it, but I feel like you'd have to, you know, I would personally take profits, you know, conservatively. I wouldn't wait for some, like, you know, maybe displacement and continue going lower, and just like, you could, I guess. But at the same time, you gotta know like where you are on the chart. You're at an area where price could bounce. This is a big support level. So I know a lot of people, when they do that, they're like, you know, they take 20, 30, 40 point moves. They're just looking for that rejection, catch a couple points or whatever, catch 20, 30 points, and then move on with their day. Taking tiny profits. Okay, yeah. See, that's smart. Yeah, because if you kind of took a short up here, you've already caught, what, 20, 40, 60, there's 80 points in profit. I'm waiting for a bigger push up, personally. It also give me more of a move, you know, give me more money. I've been trading for like a little over 2 years full time, or 3 years. I honestly lost count. Probably closer to 3 years full time. All right, taking out this low one more time. Let's see if this is that move where it takes out the low one more time and then rips back up. And it did form structure now, so like that, this is something, if it does break above this structure, probably goes for those highs. But then if I take a short right up here, now I have to pay attention to this structure, because if it breaks above it and I go short, I have to pay attention to that possibly becoming a support, which is fine, you know. Yeah, we're getting to that, you know. It's 10:15 already, so I mean, you could see this move back up. This is not a strong move up right here. I mean, it's just based off price action. We get aggressive buyers stepping in, then aggressive sellers, then aggressive buyers, and then aggressive sellers. It's just like buyers really don't have it in them, versus those moves that happen where we're like, we bottom out here, and then we just like start V-shaping out of it. Like aggressively buyers start stepping in. Like two completely different moves. The V-shape is more for like when you're a buyer and you see a V-shape out of it, that gives you more confidence because you're stepping in with all the, you know, volume behind you. See, the other thing is there is a low down there, right? We do have, if you look on an hourly chart, there is this low down here at the bottom of this box that I've drawn is that low. So question is, does it want to go for that low first before popping all the way back up? And now we have an imbalance up here. If this candle closes, actually this hourly candle, it's going to be at 11 o'clock. So let me look at the 15-minute. Do we have... Yeah, so we have even a 15-minute imbalance right there. So we have the high, that 765 level. So the high of that move, there's an imbalance all the way back up to that. So there's another confirmation for a possible short up here. And that 765 level, the beginning of that imbalance, right? Boom. So once price breaks this high right here, it'll tap into the beginning of that imbalance. All this resistance, I mean, it's just like, to me, I would definitely be interested in a short up here. Can you explain imbalance? Imbalance is right here. So like this is a 1 minute chart. You have imbalances even on a 1 minute time frame, right? You have like, here's an imbalance. So the bottom of this candle does not touch the top. The bottom of this candle does not touch the top of this candle. So you have this little gap right here, this space in between where the two candles don't touch. You see how all over here, the candles are all pretty much touching each other. But here you have this little gap that was left, where if you take the bottom of this candle and then you go to the top of this third candle, and then you could draw a box right there. So see that? That's a 1 minute imbalance. They don't work as good as higher time frame imbalances because a lot of 1 minute imbalances fail. But you could see, right? That gap right there was an imbalance. Tapped into that imbalance and then rejected. When you look on a higher time frame, those hold more weight. So when you look on an hourly chart, sorry, 15 minute, this is an imbalance gap. Here's an imbalance on an hourly chart. 15-minute chart shows it a little better. And then you have this, right? The bottom of this candle does not touch the top of this candle. So you have this big space in between. That's an imbalance right there, this big imbalance. So when price does break out, it's going to tap into that imbalance. So there's a lot of resistance up here. All these previous levels of support now turned into new resistance levels. So just like when you see there's typically a lot of buying pressure could step in right here, and buying pressure did try to step in but failed. Same thing happens up here. A lot of selling pressure could try to step in. Yeah, I like that 15-minute one. So we've just taken out that low. Remember that hourly low? Man. It's tough. It's just not giving me good entries. I mean, I could technically go to my Tradeify account. This is a low probability setup and just kind of try to take it on my Tradeify account because it's in an eval, but I would not take this kind of setup on a funded just because it's but I gotta pass this eval, so, or just blow it and forget about it. Wait. Let's have some fun while I wait for some good setup. All right, so sim, all of those are exited out. Oh, yeah, and this is going to be kind of lower probability setup because we've sold off so much, but who knows, maybe we get I would be interested in whatever, trying to. Also, this is kind of a dangerous short to take right here, just because also we've taken out this low. So the fact that we've taken out this low, you know, does make it a little more scary for a short. Again, don't copy me if I take a trade. This is a low probability setup. I'm not taking this on my funded. This is just an evaluation. I can already see he's revenge trading. He's going until... It's not really the smartest trade to take, but whatever. Let's have some fun. We are tapping into a resistance area, but the fact that we took out those lows, we could start ripping up. Yeah, that's smart too. If you're looking for buys, wait for structure to break. Because buys are more dangerous, right? I could take stupid shorts all day. I'm going with the trend. So taking stupid shorts is one thing. Taking stupid buys against the trend is like even more stupid. If you have a setup that happens and you're waiting for structure, you're waiting all this confirmation, you know, that's one thing. Told you, this is it's a dangerous level. Just seeing if sellers can start coming in again. Sellers have been pretty aggressive all day, so. Yeah, I knew I should have. The fact that massive level got taken out. Bro, these freaking spam callers, I swear. Hello. Yes. No time is better. I'm not interested. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not interested. I'll do my own inspection. Yeah. Bye. We want to take a look at your roof. We want to do an inspection on your roof. I'll do my own freaking inspection. He's like, you're a roofer? I'm like, yeah, I'm a roofer. I watched a couple YouTube videos. I'm a roofer. He sold. Why? I said this is a dangerous short, but I was willing to take it because sellers have been pretty aggressive. Oh my gosh. Bro, should I just hold these? This isn't a... Oh my gosh. Let's break it. Let's break it. Let's break it. That's a bad sign for bulls. I ain't gonna lie. If I saw that and I was long, I'd be scared as hell. I would be like, this is over for me. I'm getting stopped out. I'm getting stopped out. This is over for me. I gotta be careful also here because we've already sold off so much. I would expect some form of a push back up. I would expect it. You know. But that candle, holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4. It took out like 4 candles. So sellers are super aggressive here. Let me do this. Hold on. I'm gonna put my TP down here. If it gets down there, well then good. If it doesn't, well then good. At least take half of. I'm pretty aggressive. I should have like. I'm gonna be pretty aggressive with this account because this is an evaluation account. So let's be a little aggressive. I would be definitely more conservative if this was a funded account. This is, again, I said this is not a funded account. For a funded account, I would want to wait for a price to break up all the way up here, right? And then start going to a downtrend. Me trying to short at the bottom just becomes lower probability. Now, could it work? I'm going with the trend. It could work, you know, there is a chance. I'm going with the trend, so, but it's just lower probability, so it's better for me to just try to pass this on my evaluation. I gotta pass this evaluation anyways to try to get it funded. So I'm just taking lower quality setups on my evaluation and then waiting for the good quality setups, the higher quality on my fundeds. Caught the short in the morning. Let's go done for the day. Nice, nice. One and done. That's all you need. One and done. You don't need to catch, you know, take 7, 8 trades a day. You don't even need to take 3 trades a day. You take one good quality trade a day, right? And then that's it. That's all you need. You look for one good setup per day, and that could put you in a really good spot. And guess what? Even if you take a loss, there's tomorrow, right? Look for a good setup tomorrow. Literally, it's January 16th, right? We have a whole year ahead of us. Seeing if this thing can aggressively break this low. I mean, I would assume we got a lot of stop orders probably in this area, so this could flush. Here it goes, tapping into it. Not flushing yet. Seeing if the flush comes. Flush, 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 flush! Flush! Flush it! Flush! Hurry up! Yes! Flush! Go down! No, go up. Oh God. You need magnets? Yeah, how do I get the magnet indicator? That's probably the one thing I'm missing in my trading is the magnets. I'm not gonna lie, I've always been a little jealous of other traders using the magnets. I never really got the time to look into them. There is a theory behind them. Down 2K? Yeah, I mean, at this point, you gotta be careful. I mean, it's the thing, that's why I tell people, you gotta be careful with going against the trend. Like, can you go against the trend? Yeah, you can go against it, but you cannot be greedy. Like, you gotta take quick profits. Because you're going against everybody else in the market. You're literally swimming against the river. It's very difficult to do. Could it be done? Yes, it could be done, but you gotta be extra careful and be willing to take a loss and understand that, you know, we had this false move up. Why did I short this? Right? Even though I said it was a lower quality short, just because we took out this low. And I figured we could pop up and we could start ripping to the upside. But what I also know is sellers have been pretty aggressive, right? So my theory was all this support, right? We broke that support. We displaced below it. So when buyers step in, what I'm looking at is we're probably going to get a lot of sellers stepping in at this resistance, right? Previous support, when it displaces, turns into resistance. So now you have a lot of selling pressure stepping back in right there. And that's exactly what happened. Price pushed up, to this previous support turned into new resistance, and you got this massive, probably some massive seller stepped in. Most likely some massive sellers stepped in there, and then you just took it right back down. You can't compete with, you know, the big boys. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Why are people still trading right now? Did you guys not see the liquidity sweep? Yeah, I did see that liquidity sweep. Like I just explained. We did have a liquidity sweep right there, right? And I said this is a lower quality trade. This is technically a lower probability because of that liquidity sweep. But I understand how aggressive sellers are today. Sellers are very aggressive today. So I was willing to take the chance that sellers were going to aggressively step in again at that new resistance level. And about to hit my TP. Do you trade crypto? No, I don't trade crypto. The only thing I trade is NASDAQ. NASDAQ is the only thing I trade. Yeah, I day trade. And notice how I'm not really panicking just because it's coming super close to my TP and getting a little bit of a bounce. Other traders are like, oh, close the position. It may go up. No, I have a plan. I stick to my freaking plan. It's going to my TP or it's going to my stop loss. Most likely it's going to my TP. Here's the other mindset you got to pay attention to. When it comes super close to your stop loss, do you ever close the trade out early? Think about that. Do you ever close the trade out early when it comes super close to your stop loss? No, nobody ever does that. Everybody always allows price to hit their stop loss. I've never seen one person, price comes super close to the stop loss and they're like, all right, let me close this trade out early. They never do that. So why in the world would I do that with a take profit? Just because it's coming super close to my TP and, you know, buyers are stepping in, why would I close the trade out early if I don't do it for my stop loss? Something to think about if you're the person who gets freaked out. Now, the people who take 10-point scalps, that's a completely different thing. If you're taking 10-point scalps, you got to be extra careful. I know a lot of people that quickly move their stop to break even, take profits early, because that's a little different. But even then, it's like you got to pay attention to your data. How many times do you close the trade out early and it ends up hitting anyways your take profit? I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people do that. They close their trade early. All right, there's TP. I know a lot of people do that. And ask yourself, if you don't do that for your stop loss, why are you doing that for your take profit? And I'm not necessarily saying it's bad to do that, but I'm saying you got to pay attention to your data. People don't pay attention because there are plenty of times where you get the trade out early and it ends up hitting your take profit, right? And you calculate all those times where it actually does hit your take profit and all those little amounts of money that you missed out on starts adding up pretty significantly. Wait, gold dumped? Is gold really selling off? I would assume gold's ripping. I'm gonna pull up gold. What's the number for what's gold called? Is GL or wait, GC? GC, okay. All right, gold is dropping too. Here's gold. Wow, gold is even dropping harder than NASDAQ is. Gold is absolutely just tanking. All right, there's like no signs of an uptrend with gold ever since Ever since 10:30, it's just been straight red candles. Here's the first couple green candles. That's pretty crazy. At least NASDAQ got a little move up. We had these like little tiny moves up to kind of rebalance. Gold has just been dropping like a rock. All right, let me cancel this, box. Now that your orders got filled, what happens? I mean, at this point, what did I... Took profits. That was a $478 trade. Almost 500 bucks. Now it's like, you know, you protect yourself. I mean, to be honest, I would still want to take a short. Like I said, I would love to take a short on my other accounts. But for me looking for a short, I really wanted to get closer to VWAP because I love it when I can take a short near VWAP because VWAP becomes my resistance, right? VWAP 200, you got all these levels for price to have to break through to get to my stop loss, right? And it just becomes a lot higher probability trade for me that I can be more confident in. And typically, you know, and that's, I'm telling you, that one rule saved me, like, has helped me out so much. Just the one simple rule of stop freaking longing below VWAP. And I'm not saying this to you, I'm saying this to myself. I had to say this to myself. Stop freaking longing below VWAP. I was doing it over and over, and sometimes it would work, but a lot of times I would just keep getting wrecked and wrecked and wrecked and keep getting stopped out to the point where I had to ask myself, how the hell am I so good at losing money? And then I had to reevaluate what I'm doing wrong. And what I kind of realized was I keep going against the trend. Every time price is above VWAP and it's going for a high, I'm looking for a short opportunity. I'm looking to short it when it's strong, right? And then it takes out a high, I short it, it goes a little lower, and then it pops back up and it stops me out. Same thing with below VWAP. Like this kind of, this is what I would do. This is exactly the trade I would do before. Look, here's a 15-minute. Hold on, where's that? So you can see we have a low down here, right? We have this low down here at 681s. So go to a 1-minute chart. So here's 681. Remember that low I showed you earlier? 681. Look what happened. Price came out, took out that low. This is the exact trade I would have taken. This exact long setup I would have taken once price kind of started to close back up here. I would have went long, going, all right, this is probably going to start going back up to the highs, at least these highs. And I would go long because it took out the bottom, and then price would go up a little bit in profit. I would start getting excited, and then boom, it would just stop me out. Why? Because I'm going against the trend. But hey, if it works for you, I'm not saying it doesn't work. If that's a strategy that works for you, by all means, keep trading it. It's just not something that was working for me, personally. And I know there are traders that are very good reversal traders. And when you're a reversal trader, you're kind of have to go against the trend because you're trying to catch a bottom. Me, personally, I look at the trend and I go with the trend. I look for little push-ups if we're below VWAP, a little push-up to continue going short. All right, let's see. How much money did you put in to make 500 bucks? That was an evaluation account. So I bought an evaluation account. I'm trying to pass this. I have 7 funded accounts that, like, what a funded account means, you can actually start making money on them with a prop firm, right? You pass an evaluation, you get put in a funded, and you can start taking payouts. I have 7 funded accounts, and then I have 1 evaluation account that I'm trying to get to a funded. So I took this trade on my evaluation, that 500 bucks. I need $3,000. I mean, I'm more than 500 bucks in profit on the account, but I need a total of 3,000 to pass and then get put in a funded. Then I'll have 8 funded accounts. Yeah, discipline has a lot to do with it. It's very easy when you're winning trades. It's very difficult when you lose a trade and your emotions start going crazy and you want to just like get the money back. That's the difficult part. Winning is the easy part. Losing is the hard part. That's why there's actually a trading book called The Best Loser Wins. Right? It's a good even title. Best Loser Wins. If you're able to be a good loser in trading, you can't have an ego. Right? No matter how good you are at trading, you're gonna take losses. Even the traders that make 8 figures a year in trading, they take losses, and they take 6-figure losses in days. Right? They could take a 6-figure loss in one day. So it's just a whole new level. But even they take losses. There's no such thing as never. Like, it's just a part of doing business when it comes to trading, taking losses. I don't have in trading you don't have rent to pay for. You don't have any of that. Yeah, it depends on most people do prop firms. I would advise staying away from live capital until you've proven to yourself that you're actually how to trade, you have the right skill sets to trade. The whole goal of this, right, is to be in prop firms, right? Take payouts from prop firms, build up some prop firms so that eventually you can get your own account, right? You could have your own live account, start building your own capital. And even these prop firms, eventually, these prop firms do put you in live accounts. If you keep trading, and a lot of them will put you in a live account. Take Profit Trader puts traders in a live account after a while. So, the opportunities are pretty good. But also, right, I would still want my own account. I would still eventually want to build up my own account. Below 150k TPT. I mean, yeah, it's I don't know if you're like too aggressively sized in. My opinion is you should allow yourself for drawdown, right? Allow yourself. I allow myself personally at least 6 losing trades before I blow an account. And you can see how if I lose one trade, it's not the end of the world. Because I would have to lose, 6-7 trades to blow an account. So I'm not like super undersized, but I'm not super aggressively sized to the point where if I take a loss, it's like the end of I have to, buy a new eval and this and that. Down 300 trying to long. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming a lot of people got burnt on this move right here. These lows keep getting taken out. And you have... you keep having lows get taken out and it keeps failing and failing and failing and failing. And it's like... And you can see, just because of the focus I had to not even look for longs, I said before, right? I actually was looking for longs. If you've been on my live the whole time, I was looking for longs up here. Where was it? 930, where is it? Somewhere around here. I forgot. Somewhere around here. I was looking for longs. I was looking for some levels to get taken out to get back above VWAP, and then I would be looking for longs. But I said my bias could change. If we start really breaking below VWAP and displacing, my bias could change. And as we start displacing, we had a couple lows down here, that significant lows that got taken out, and it got taken out and didn't start getting buying pressure. So it started displacing below them, and I'm like, all right, now my bias is shifting short. I'm not even looking for longs at this point. I'm only looking for shorts because I'm going with momentum. And boom, you got the opportunity finally to go short and took advantage of it. And look at that. If I still would have held, I would have freaking... But the problem is people keep trying to fade the move, and they keep trying to fade it and 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 fade it. And it's just like after a while, you just blow your account because you're just trying to fade something. It literally the saying in trading, catching a falling knife. It's exactly what you're doing, trying to long in this kind of a market, you're trying to catch a falling knife. This thing keeps falling and falling and falling, and you keep trying to catch it. You keep catching it by the blade. Your hand's all bloody now. It falls again, and you're still making that same mistake in trying to catch it. Now, from what I understand, the people that do go against, like the people who do long, right? A lot of them look for structure to change, right? So they would look for something like, right? Say this low gets taken out, right? This kind of structure gets put in. Maybe we pull back a little bit, and then price starts ripping back above and starts breaking above a certain pretty significant structure. Then they look for a pullback into that structure to continue going up. So they look for that structure change. A lot of times you could see when price takes out a low, boom, makes an internal high, goes back lower, creates that structure, price breaks out of that structure, pulls back into that structure, continues going higher. Kind of sort of like what's going on right here, right? Where price kind of forms some structure, starts breaking out of it, displacing above it, pulls back into it to go higher. But this is kind of not really a significant structure. I don't even know what's on a higher time frame. Maybe it's not even taking out a low. But I'm saying that's kind of what people do when they do go against the trend trading. In trading, you can't be afraid to... Yeah, absolutely. And the people that are afraid to lose are the people who are sized in too aggressively. You cannot be afraid to lose. I mean, it's a part of it. You just gotta... One thing you gotta do, as long as you manage your losses correctly and you have a plan, there's nothing wrong with taking losses. Like, you'll see me plenty of times. If I even on my funded accounts, if I'm willing... Like, I could have technically taken this trade on a funded account. Well, would I have went in full size? Absolutely not. I would have not went in full size. Right? I would have probably went in half size. If I took this on a funded account, I just would have went in half size because it's a lower probability. But I didn't do that because I had an evaluation that I had to pass anyway. So I'm just like, I'm just going to take this on an evaluation and just go in aggressively. But if I didn't have the evaluation, I would have still taken it on a funded, just half size. If we would have pushed all the way back up here, gave me a higher probability setup, I would have went in full size. And that kind of dynamic sizing... I mean, that just comes a little with experience that you just build up with experience, but yeah, absolutely, you can't be afraid to lose. You have to. It's a part of it. Was only up 2,200 on a 9K eval. Okay. Just make sure, like. What I would say, size, like, okay, for example, when you buy, I know all these other influencer traders, they're always telling traders, stop spending so much time on an eval. Like, you stop spending so much time on an eval. Just go ahead and full port it and try to pass it. And just like, I don't think that's a good thing to tell people personally, right? Because if you can't pass an eval, like, let's just say, if you can't take a whole month to downsize, risk a little bit per trade, and slowly build up that capital and pass the eval, like, can you really, like, if you get put in a funded account, what's gonna change? You're just gonna blow the funded account. Nothing's gonna change. But when you pass an eval the correct way and you're downsized and you allow yourself for some drawdown, you allow yourself to get out of it, and you kind of work your way up to that profit target, and then finally when you pass it that way, now your mindset, when you go through some drawdown in a funded account, you're like, well, I got to this profit target in an eval. So why can't I do it again? I could do it again, and you build up that confidence. Instead of full porting and just thinking back, oh, I just got lucky. That's why I passed the eval. It affects your mindset. Like, there wasn't, when I was passing, to be honest with you, with these 7 funded accounts that I have, when I was passing those 7 funded accounts, it took me a month and a half to pass them. And I know some people are going to be like, that's way too long to pass an eval. A month and a half it took me. But guess what? I finally passed them, and I didn't have to reset not even once. When I bought those 7 accounts, not once that I blew those accounts and I had to reset. So imagine how much money I saved. Because 7 accounts, if you blow 7 accounts and have to reset it, That's a pretty decent amount of money, right? And I can't afford to spend, you know, like 700 bucks, then blow the account and then spend 700 bucks. And then I look back and I spent $5,000 in 1 month. I can't do that. So I have to be conservative. And it really helped me out when I was conservative, because when I did go through drawdown, I looked back and told myself, listen, you've already done it one time. You could do it again. Don't worry. Like, you have to kind of encourage yourself to not go on tilt. Oh. It's choppy. I mean, we've been going, dropping pretty good on NASDAQ. Today was the day to YOLO. I mean, if you YOLO'd the right direction. Some people were trying to YOLO in the wrong direction. Some people were literally trying to pee against the wind. Guess what happens when you try to pee against the wind? Got a 5-minute hammer? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, there's signs. I mean, yeah, there's signs that buyers are stepping in right here. Now, it's like, does that mean, like, you got to look at... Ooh. Even though we are showing signs of a potential reversal here, like, we got resistance right there. So it's like... Yes, at some point, this thing is going to start trending all the way back up. At some point. But the question is when. Like, this could easily pop back up to this high right here, to about, like, this, like, 660 level. Around 660, it could pop back up and it could sell right back down. But yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of buying pressure stepping in right there. You see these wicks. I mean, you could kind of see how structures, it's not a significant structure change, but this is what I was talking about earlier, right? You have this structure. Look what happened when price broke out of this structure. It came back, it retested that structure, and it's continuing to go up. So this is like the first sign of price starting to reverse back up. Does it mean it's going to reverse all the way back up, all the way up there? No, not necessarily, but this is a sign that price is starting to reverse. This is actually, to be honest with you, throughout the whole morning of price action, you see this whole morning right here, this is the first sign of price actually starting to reverse. This right here. And yeah, this might go all the way back up to VWAP. I mean, you think about what is VWAP? It's volume weighted average price. So price tends to, when price gets super like far away from VWAP, price does tend to retrace back to VWAP because it's the average price. So when price gets away from it, it retraces back up to what the average price is. And then, right, what do you get at VWAP? Because price is very balanced, it's the average price. It's not on discount, it's not on anything. You get a lot of chop until it starts moving away from VWAP, then really momentum starts to kick in. And that's why I really love the VWAP. And I love taking trades with my stop loss above the VWAP so that I'm like extra protected. What time is it? Oh crap, it's 11 o'clock. Time flies when you're having fun. And see these levels to watch out for, right? I said we could get some resistance at 660. I literally said 660. Right now, price is tapping into 660 and you see a little bit of sellers coming in. Now, right, in order for price to continue going up, it's got to hold this like 640 level as support. So it keeps retesting. Now it comes back, retests this as support, and moves higher. If it fails to hold this as support, then it'll probably go lower. I wish tomorrow was Monday. Yeah. I wish I could, honestly, I wish I could trade every day. If I was able to trade every single day, I would trade every day. But then again, it's like, it is good, honestly. It is good to be able to have weekends to relax. I get to sleep in a little bit. I don't have to wake up super early to come to the office. So I kind of like, my weekends, I take it easy. I'll like, it is nice. I sleep in, not super long, but it does feel good. It's freaking spam callers. Never again am I giving my phone number on a website. What I've realized is, I actually had a moment where I was receiving no spam callers and I forgot what website. I put in my freaking phone number and I started getting a bunch of spam calls. That I guarantee you that website sold my data to somebody and now they're calling me. Never again, I've made it. Never again am I putting in my real phone number on any website. That's how I think I'm getting all these spam calls. Is these websites are selling your data and then you end up getting a bunch of BS calls about freaking senior benefits, and literally somebody called me about replacing my roof. Come on, man. Listen, if I wanted to replace my roof, I would find you. I don't want to replace my roof. Take a hike. Go find another roof. But yeah, back to the trading every day. It would be nice. It would be kind of nice. And it's not like, I guess on weekends, it's not like I sleep in like crazy. I normally wake up at like 8:40. I don't even eat breakfast. I quickly wash up and everything and I'm out of the house. But, well, man, but yeah, it's, weekends I pretty much, instead of waking up at like 8:40, I wake up at like 9:30. So it's not like a crazy difference. But when I went to California, I don't know how you guys trade in California. That was wild. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. Dang. I mean, from one side, it's good because the people that have like full-time jobs that have to go to work at like clock in at 8:30, they can trade it. They can trade New York Open, which is really nice. But it's so freaking hard. It sucks. I am not a morning person whatsoever. I am not a morning person. I'm the person, I literally go to bed at 2 a.m. Every single day, I go to bed at 2 a.m. I'm a night person. I love nighttime. Morning person, I wake up and I'm just like, the one thing that like gets me excited is trading. If it wasn't for trading, I would even be more of not a morning person. The fact that I can come in and trade, it gets me a little excited for the morning. But I'm still like, I'm in California. Yeah, I mean it's a double-edged sword. It's good because people could trade that have, 9 to 5 jobs. You could still trade, but it does suck that you have to wake up so early. Like I wake up 8:40 for the market. Market opens at 9:30, so it's like it gives me so much. I don't have to worry about going to bed early, and it's currently 8 right now. Dang, that's crazy. See, I was still sleeping at 8 o'clock. But it was kind of, there is somebody who was, there was a trader who traded in Hawaii. So Hawaii, he had to wake up at 8 o'clock, 3 in the morning. Can you imagine waking up at 3 in the morning to trade? Waking up at 3 in the morning in Hawaii. But then it's like, it gives you the rest of the day. But then you don't really have a day because you have to go to bed super early. Because you have to wake up at 3. I personally, I like this, I like East Coast time. I love that the market opens at 9:30 here. Send you pictures of you up. You sent me pictures of, you're talking about the Ninja Trader, okay. Yo, you sent me a picture in my DMs. I will, yeah, I'll take a look at it because I definitely want to see how to get it. Just for people that are watching. I have it on my other screen on Thinkorswim. I have it on the chart, but yeah, I would love to get it on this chart too. Because then technically, If I get it on this chart, I really don't need the other chart. I would have everything I have that I need on this chart. And I wouldn't even need to look at the other chart. I appreciate it. Thank you for sending that. But yeah. All right. So at this point, we are starting to get a push up here. But obviously I'm done for the day. I'm not. That was the one and only trade that was the good trade for me. We've kind of gotten to a point where it's just time frame, right? It's 11 o'clock. So even if you do get a good setup, the fact that it's 11 o'clock, it's already like, you know, I don't want to get stuck in chop. Volume, you need volume behind your trades. Volume starts to die down. So, well, let me see. TikTok's making me... Give me a second real quick. If you have any questions before I leave, now is the time to ask them. What's your view op settings? They're completely stock. Like whatever. I don't change any settings. On any indicators, I don't change settings. The whole reason, you got to think about it this way. The whole reason an indicator works, like view op, is because so many people use it. When you have a bunch of people using the same indicator, looking at the same indicator, that's the reason it works. When you start finessing with the settings on an indicator, you start getting a different level than most people, and then it doesn't work as good. But yeah, that's like the whole reason why certain indicators work really good, why view op works really good. You have, I think even Citadel, which is a hedge fund, admitted to they actually use view op. And you got to think when they code their bots pay attention to view op. It's volume weighted average price. That's why you see chop a lot of times at view op. So I would recommend not touching any settings. Just whatever the normal settings are for view op, just keep it that way. Ugh. All right. All right. I think I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna walk away for the day. And hold on, where is oh, I'm gonna walk away for the day and go work. I wish I could say I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day, but I gotta go. I still got work to do today. I'm not like one of those other traders to say he's gonna go relax on the beach and freaking well, you guys have to go work. I gotta work too. Not that I have to, but you got to be productive in life. You got to keep it pushing. But yeah, enjoy your guys' weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't, at this point, it's 11 o'clock. Maybe call it a day. If you've made money, call it a day. If you lost money, it's also a good time probably to call it a day and just, walk away. Monday's going to come around. There's going to be more opportunities. So don't blow your accounts. Keep it safe, and yeah, I'll see you guys Monday. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe. Peace out.